Why would the weeks go on the bottom? Okay. So remember, this is your X, this is your Y. What axis is this? My X. So we're labeling that weeks. This is my Y axis. I'm labeling it weight. All right, you will not have to construct a scatter plot on the STAR test, okay? But you will have to know how to read one. This is just making sure you would know how to graph it because you will have to eventually know how to construct one. All right, so if I'm at 0 on the X, am I going anywhere? No, so then I just go up to the 6. So at 9, do I have individual numbers here? No, I'm counting by 5, which means I'm going to have to what? I'm just going to have to do the best I can. All right. So if I'm at 9, that would be right in front of the 10, and then up to 8.6. No, because half would be 9. So just barely above that 8. And I'm not on the line. It kind of looks like I am. I'm right in front of it. All right. Then I'm at 18. So it would come a little bit in front of the 20 and 10. So I am going to be exactly on the 10 line. All right. 27. Come right after 25 and 13.6. Okay, you see how weird that can be? And then 34 and 15. So right in front of the 35, halfway. All right, 43 and 17.2. And 49 and 19.8. Okay, now, was that hard? Was it time consuming? Yeah. That's more of anything. It's just kind of annoying, all right? It's not necessarily hard because it's not asking for exact. If it wanted exact, would it have given me exact numbers? Yes. All right, so right here, it just talks about 2 vocabulary words you need to know. Cluster. Guys, if there were a cluster of people in the hallway, what would that mean? Okay, there was a group, there was a bunch of people, right? Is this a bunch of data right here? Yes. Okay, so that's what a cluster is. When it's referring to graphs and it says, is there a cluster? Yes, there is. Okay, an outlier, what do y'all think an outlier means? The one by itself. Basically one that's far away from the outside of the data. Okay, so if it asks if there's an outlier, is there one that's not trending with the rest of the data? Yeah. In this case, yes, there is. Okay, so those are 2 things you need to know. Somebody's talking and I can't hear who it is. It just means that, like, for the outlier, or what? That is the name, cluster and outlier, or basically your words that you would need to know, because one of them is going to ask, did the data have an outlier? And if there was one that was separated from most of the other data, then yes, there would be. If this circle wasn't there, you would say no, there's not. Okay. All right. So it says fill in the table. Type of correlation. All right. Right here, we are doing negative, positive, or none. Yes. I'm going to talk about it in just a second. Okay. Correlation means, now think about it. When we had graphs, okay, if I had a graph that the line was going up, what kind of graph would we say that is? It is linear because it's forming a line. Positive. It would be positive. If we think of positive, positive's getting bigger, right? If I had a graph and it was going down, because slope, we did it with slope. If my slope was going down, it would be negative. So looking right here, what is my data doing? Okay, so this one's negative because it's going down, right? Now, is that a linear set of data? It is, because most of it is forming a line, right? Okay, this one would be done. It is not. It is kind of just everywhere. So it's none. There is no correlation to that data. This is positive. It's trending up.
What do we go for situation?
Where?
It says situation.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So a situation means it would want you to come up with a situation that could represent a negative correlation. Now, we right here did weeks and weight. All right, so it's wanting for you to come up with something that would trend downward, something that you could.
Business.
All right, so this is there could be a lot of things. Like one example was somebody would said like the population, the more deaths our population lowers. It's like as morbid as that is, it's true. Yes. Okay. What about the example that Ms. Kellemeyer likes is if you brush your teeth, what would get lower with brushing your teeth? Cavities. So brushing your teeth. Yes. A number of cavities. Okay, because if you were to try to record that, it would hopefully it would go down. Okay. All right. What are two things that have zero correlation to one another?
Burger, salt, and
I need salt on my burger. I don't know what you're talking about.
Waking up in the morning.
Okay, waking up in the morning and what?
And
What does that have no correlation to?
Going to space.
Going to sleep.
Okay.
Waking up in the morning and going back to sleep.
Okay.
Those have correlation.
I do that. Driving a car, yes, go.
Okay. So what about we're going to say the color of car you drive. Okay. Does the color of car I drive have any correlation to my grades that I would make? No. So if your grades. So like if I said, well, man, you're wearing a red shirt today, you're going to fail. Is there any correlation between those two things?
So
No.
like astrological signs.
Okay.
So like astrological signs don't have any correlation to how you act.
we ain't broaching that topic today. All right. Positive. What if I did hours of work? What would hours of work correlate with?
Money.
Yeah, how much you make. And it should go up because the more you work, the more money you're going to make, right?
And you get bonus on overtime. So you just work the entire day. Can't you just work like 2 days and not take a single day off and make a bunch of money, then take a day off and then do that same thing again?
Companies they don't work like that typically.
Start working like that.
All right, so this says determine if the following is linear or non-linear. Linear means what? Forms a line. Non-linear, not a line. Okay, now obviously with these, it's not going to form exactly a straight line. It is if most of the data is in a line. So if I were to draw a line through this, did most of the data form a line? This would be linear. Okay, this one. That's very nonlinear. Because if I tried to draw a straight line through that.
That's how my feelings look like right now.
Oh my gosh.
That's
No, focus.
non-linear.
Okay, this one, it's starting down here, but then it goes up.
That's linear.
No.
That ain't non-linear.
How does someone peak in 1952?
Okay, this one is the one that kind of confused people.
Linear.
Okay, why is it linear, Caleb?
Because it was more like a line still. I guess.
Almost in a straight line.
It curves a little. Yes, it does. But is it mostly following that line? Yes.
Like that.
A little curve, not a big deal. A major curve, a big deal. I'm sorry, am I talking?
Why is it so much closer like
There is no math involved, Caleb, so don't whine until you really pay attention first. Okay? All right. Too much words.
Too bad, Cookie.
Okay, guys, can y'all read English? Most of you can. All right. So you complaining about that is ridiculous because there are people that don't get any accommodations to help them with this, and you're going to complain because you can read the problem? Think about it. Got it? Y'all's homework is pretty short. I can give you more.
Oh, please.
Can I read the question?
Go for it, Deanna. Oh, okay.
Rena collected data on the number of flowers blooming in the city garden over the months of February, March, and April. If she plots the data on a scatterboard, what relationship?
Scatterplot.
Caleb. Keep going.
What relationship will she most likely see between the number of flowers blooming and?
Okay, so let's think about this really quickly. Flowers blooming in February, March, and April.
Positive.
Why do we think it would be positive?
Because it's blooming and they're not.
Because they keep going.
They go warm.
With our months, okay, February's still pretty cold, right? Typically. All right, and then it gets a little bit warmer, and then it's really spring. So should okay, because we're talking typically, should the amount of flowers blooming go up?
Yes.
Yes, so it would be positive. Sure, Jaden.
That one was easy.
Oh, but it's so hard. There's too many words.
That was my favorite.
Shh. Hush.
Fluctuates during different months of the year. Scatterplot below shows the population of the colony during 5 months of the year. Which is the correct conclusion based on the data in the scatterplot?
Okay. Look at that. So we're just going to talk through our options. The data represents a linear positive trend. Is that true? It's not true. It's not positive.
It's positive, but it's not linear.
It's positive.
Okay, it's positive but not linear. Could I force it into a line? Yes, but we're just kind of leave a question mark. It's not a horrible option. All right, there is no correlation between the month and the year of the population. Well, that's not true because with each month it went up, right?
B is not it. It's C.
Okay, C, the data represents a nonlinear positive trend. So our only difference right here and right here is linear and nonlinear.
That's correct. It's C.
And there's also an outlier.
There is an outlier-ish. If I were to try to form it like this, it is way up there. It is nonlinear. So that would be your answer.
Can I read this?
Did it have a cluster of data?
Yes.
It did?
No.
No.
Okay, go for it, Mikey.
The graph below shows the relationship between the square footage of several homes and the cost to replace the carpet in those homes. Which best describe the relationship shown in the graph?
It'd be positive trend.
I'd say
no
trend.
No trend.
It's no trend because it's all over.
Okay, hold on. So you're telling me it's not constantly going up.
It is.
It is going up.
It's a positive trend.
It is a positive trend.
There's gonna be better out.
Okay, no, here would make it a no trend is if it was going up here and then I come back down here. Okay, but since it continuously went up, it is a positive trend.
So the key is for them to like draw the arrow going up.
Following.
They can see.
Mhm. Okay,
Now read the next one.
sure, Jaden. Example 7.
Lisa is trying to prefer the
Shh.
trumpet playing and gathers data on practicing and performance. According to the data, what is the relationship between the number of hours spent practicing in 1 month and the number of mistakes made during a concert?
Okay. All right. According to the data, what is the relationship between the number of hours spent practicing in 1 month, the number of mistakes made during a concert? Okay, this is the mistakes. This is the time spent practicing. What do we notice is happening?
Going down.
We're making fewer mistakes, right? And is that typical? The more I practice, the better I'm going to get at whatever it is I'm doing? Yes. Okay, so the more hours a player spends practicing, the more likely they are to make mistakes. Is that true? So the more I practice, the more I'm going to be bad. No. There is no correlation between the number of hours spent practicing and the number of mistakes. We just said what happens. It goes up. There is a constant correlation between the number of hours spent practicing and the number of mistakes.
Yes, ma'am.
So what does constant mean?
Constant means there's a constant.
That means it keeps going.
So if I said y'all are constantly talking, what does that mean?
That means
you keep
that means we
talking,
never
never
stop.
Y'all don't stop, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So there was a correlation that stayed the same that did not stop. No. The more hours a player spends practicing, the less likely they are to make mistakes. Is that what we said at the beginning? Yes. Okay. Jaden, you've read 2. Kobe, go for it.
Mark surveyed the members of the basketball team to determine the relationship between the number of bathrooms in their houses and the size and their shoe sizes. The graph shows the results of this survey based on. The graph showed the results of this survey. Based on the results of a player on the team who has 5 bathrooms in their house, and what will their shoe size be?
Okay, so think about this. Realistically, is there going to be any correlation between somebody's shoe size and how many bathrooms they have in their house? No, it is absolutely cannot be determined. Okay, y'all see this right here? Is it going down?
No,
Is it going up?
It's not that
How do you think you would describe this?
a box.
Not linear.
It's going this way.
Constant.
Constant. Okay, did the data stay in one area? Guys, I don't know why y'all are looking back there. I'm still